It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Robin Mines. Welcome. My name is Abel Kaobuchi, and thanks a lot for joining us on another beautiful Sunday. Yes, politics is still heavy in the air. A lot of defections are still making the news. And in the past week, we did see the official defection of the Akwa Ibom State Governor, moving from the PDP to the APC. And we did hear the ultimatum he gave members of his government a week before, saying that anybody who doesn't move into the APC with him would have to resign. And we did see I think at least one commissioner resign his appointment, saying he wasn't going to be moving along with that. But that's basically the story of the nation as we speak today. A lot of politics is being discussed, and for a lot of people it's quite jarring, considering the fact that the general elections are not until at least 2 years from now, or maybe a year and a half. We still have a lot of economic issues to tackle. Insecurity is heavy on the minds of a lot of people. But politics has taken over, and what does that mean for the average Nigerian who is still struggling on a daily basis to get a good meal on their table? We're currently celebrating Salah across Nigeria and with the Muslim faithful across the world, and of course, happy Salah to all of those who are watching. But I feel like this holiday has also been a reflection of the economy. Most people have, for the first time, realized how expensive a ram is, for example. And I saw a lot of people tweeting yesterday that this is the first Salah that has gone past 24 hours and they haven't had one meat to eat. But here we are talking politics. Well, I'm joined now virtually by Onoja Ilemona, who's a legal practitioner, and maybe he'll help me understand why we are here already at this point. Onoja, good to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. It has been a long time. It's good to see you again.
Same here. So, I mean, why are we so heavy on the politics already? We haven't tackled our economic issues. We haven't fixed insecurity. For a lot of people, these two issues are top of mind for a lot of Nigerians. And some would even tell you that things have gotten worse than they were. And here we are already talking about 2027. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics promised us a rebase of the GDP, which was quite controversial, but even that hasn't been done. And here we are talking defections and politics in 2027. Why are we here?
We're here simply because the ruling party, the government in power, the people that populate that government have nothing else to do, nothing else to talk about. If they were delivering good governance, we would have been talking about good governance. If they were delivering security, we would have been talking about security. If they were delivering a productive economy, we would have been talking about that. We're here because, and we're talking politics and focusing on the political alignment and realignment of our political elite, simply because in the mind of the average Nigerian, what we have agreed is that the 4 years between 2023 and 2027 have gone to no issue. They're wasted 4 years, years of locusts, cankerworms, caterpillars, and whatever have you. We have told ourselves what the agreement is we're going to suffer this 4 years. When is the earliest possible time when we can change it? We do not trust this government to change it. When is the next possible time we can change it? 2027. And so everybody has moved away from 2023. Everybody has recognized nothing is going to change. Things are only just going to get worse. When can we stop the bleeding? When can we begin to cut out the cancer that this administration is visiting on its people? The soonest possible time is 2027. And so this is just fast forward in the minds of many people. And it is copium, it is hope that in the next 2.5 years or 2 years, we should be able to be, at this time, be ushering in a good new government to do the things that that will bring us some sort of relief as Nigerians. There's nothing else to look forward to. There's nothing else to hang hope on. There's nothing that is coming out of this administration that is indicative that there will be any change in our fortunes anytime soon. So why should we be talking about anything else? That the administration itself has focused on 2027, that all their attention is geared towards 2027, that is the politicking, rather than the delivery of governance. That is the focus of our political class. Just shows you that everybody is a write-off. If there was anything else, I'll tell you, before the 2015 elections, You could hear people from President Jonathan's administration speak about GDP growth, speak about single-digit inflation. They were telling you the roads constructed in kilometers. We're seeing monthly and quarterly budget performance analysis. We were seeing a very strong debate around the entire, economic numbers coming from the National Bureau of Statistics. We're seeing CBN giving a monthly, quarterly, half quarterly, yearly analysis of where the position of the government is. What are we doing now? Radio silence.
So I hear you, Lemona, and we're going to get to the government in power in a bit. But I hear you, and I feel like a lot of that has to lie with what the opposition has become. Because it's when times get testy that opposition parties are supposed to prove their mettle and show that, okay, we are the better option and we're going to, this is what we're presenting to you. And yes, we can talk all we want about the Labour Party and the other ones, but the PDP was in government for many years, has been in opposition now for about 10 years. And we saw when the PDP was in power what the opposition did. No matter how powerful our presidents were, we always had opposition governors or leaders who spoke up. This seems very different. Like I said at the opening of this show, we just had the governor of Akwa Ibom State's defect. I think with the PDP now, there's probably about, I'm not sure what the number is now, about 10 PDP governors left, give or take. And of those 10, most people know that it's just a matter of time. We've seen the governor of Osun State visit Mr. President a few days ago. That already sent tongues wagging. Nobody's speaking up. Nobody seems to be giving any sort of pushback. Mr. President, in his capacity as an opposition between 1999 and 2003, did push back to the PDP presidents at the time. None of that is happening now. Why then shouldn't the president be comfortable?
I would say two things, maybe three. First things first, I will mirror the disappointment. And I'll put my hand up here. I'm a member of the People's Democratic Party, have been for many, many years. I'll put my hands up here and I'll echo the disappointment I hear in your voice and the disappointment I know that millions of Nigerians feel at the lack of cohesion, lack of functionality, lack of direction that our party seemingly has or suffers from at the moment. It is in many ways deeply, and I'll say this with all sense of responsibility, deeply disappointing. There are many people within the party ranks, people aged 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 50 and above, 50 and below, and whatever have you, who yearn desperately to go out into the party or into the country to, scream about the works that the PDP used to do, to talk about the work that the PDP can be doing differently. It just isn't coming because there's a failure of leadership on many levels. And I think that the issues that plague the PDP are very well known in the country at the moment. So I probably won't beat that push too much. I will also say that what you're seeing when you see people like the Akwa Ibom governor defect, and I will go so far as even to say the Delta State governor before him and other governors who are doing this, what you see is a political alignment. You see people who have, as politicians, lost faith in the system. Under the PDP, at least you could function. You could go to court and you could expect justice. You could go to elections and you could expect a certain measure of credibility. What you're seeing in that political alignment, people who have lost all sorts of faith in the political, in Nigeria's entire electoral and political system, where they believe we're not going to get justice in courts, elections are not going to be free and fair, so I might as well just go to the president's party and seek the president's protection. It really is just that. It is an erosion of Nigeria's institutions between 2015 and today that has brought us there. How do I say so? In 2015, Muhammad Buhari, former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, came, attacked the judiciary, weakened the electoral umpires, didn't pass an electoral amendment bill and it was too late for it to apply to him, attacked the judiciary, weakened it. We've seen a continuation of all those sorts of things to the point where these institutions are now in a place where they fail to deliver credibility. Nobody believes that they're going to go to the courts and that any electoral malpractice is going to get corrected in the courts. And so we're well on our way to a one-party state by design. It isn't because this is what the people want. It isn't because the opposition parties, we can function much better, but it's not because we're not functioning. It is simply because by design, one, politicians are selfish. And so those who have destroyed our institutions and reigning it and lording it over people and negotiating with others and say, if you come over to our political party, we will then make these debased, these destroyed institutions work in your favor. If anything, it is a strong condemnation. It is a strong criticism. It's a strong, as much as it is a criticism on the political class and on the PDP and the elected officials who are going to the APC, it is a criticism on the government itself that the failure in safeguarding, protecting, and promoting our institutions is so monumental that nobody believes that everybody believes that outside of the APC, they cannot get justice, they cannot get freedom, they cannot get fairness. And so everybody's just going there. Nobody's doing it on behalf of the people. People are just doing it on behalf of their own selfish interests. And it is in the interest of politicians to be selfish. I'd like to say that at some point, Nigerians are going to have to learn. Politicians use us every day. Nigerians are going to have to learn, how can we use these politicians back? The people who haven't gone to APC, who are still remaining, how can we use them to get this cancer out? Until we get to that point where we're having a completely different conversation and we realize that the 2027 elections or any other elections after that are going to be the people against the political class. Nobody who is moving to the APC is talking about security. Nobody who is moving to the APC is talking about the economy. Nobody who is moving to the APC is talking about inflation. Nobody who is moving to the APC is talking about the rising cost of living, or that we are the poverty capital of the world, or that we have the most malnourished children, or the most out of school children. Nobody is talking about any of those indices. What they're talking about is master strategists. So it's the politics. They're moving for the politics, not for what the politics can bring to the people.
I hear you. Yeah, sorry to cut you, and I hear you there, because I mean, a lot of what you're saying might be factual, but I think the one danger that maybe people are not even seeing and talking about yet is what is happening in the National Assembly. Yes, we might say they're a rubber stamp National Assembly, but we don't even know what a rubber stamp is until the APC has the sort of supermajority that it can become very soon, where then things can be done. I think, I mean, because of how many people have defected, I tried to find out how many APC senators there are now. Numbers are kind of conflicting. I think it's about 64. And to get a two-thirds majority, I think it's about 73. That is not impossible to achieve with the way things are going. And when they get to that, what does that mean for a democracy where the same party is in charge of the executive? We have a National Assembly, which a lot of people are critical of not sort of checking the executive in any way, and they now have a supermajority there. And then, of course, like you said, people have lost faith in the judiciary. What next?
Let me tell you something, Ebuka. It isn't just even about the numbers. It's about the construct of the political players. And I'll show you, a number of things very quickly. I mean, I must plug in here. The last National Assembly we had that had anywhere near that had an understanding of the need for checks and balances was the National Assembly led by my former boss and my political mentor, Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki. Since then, what we've had are just individuals who are subservient, who don't even understand the purpose of their roles. And so come here and display. It is an insult to rubber stamps to call the current National Assembly a rubber stamp. It is an insult to rubber stamps. Now, I will now say it's not, when I say it's about the political construct, I don't mean it's just about the number. I mean, we must look more than the numbers. Under former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the PDP had supermajority, had majority in both houses of the National Assembly. But some of Obasanjo's biggest challengers came from within the PDP. From within the PDP. Former President Yar'Adua, some of his biggest challengers came from within the PDP. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, from the biggest challenges to his government came from within the PDP. This government, and that's where there's a substantial ideological difference between the PDP and the APC. The APC exists as a Rankadede party. The APC exists as a Baba Sope party. A leader at the top has given an instruction. Nobody else is supposed to argue. Nobody else is supposed to fight. Nobody else is supposed to condemn or even critically investigate or interrogate it. All you're supposed to do is, aye, sir, and execute. It makes no sense. Now, even with the PDP members there, and this is where there is a failure of opposition, and we must point it out, in the National Assembly, you see, nobody is opposing anything. The PDP legislators didn't even meet to discuss the illegal actions taken in respect of River State. They didn't even have a national caucus meeting. They came there, voted in favor of, and left. We hear that money was distributed. Okay, it's the same thing with the budget, for instance. Let me tell you something that people don't realize. And when you speak about the potential dangers of a railroaded National Assembly that is unable to act as a check or a balance, in 2015, the size of the national budget was what, 6 trillion or 7 trillion? The budget that President Tinubu placed before the National Assembly had 6 trillion, 6.5 trillion inserted into it by the National Assembly. The budget of the whole country barely 10 years ago was inserted by the National Assembly into the 2025 budget. It shows you the nature, and people think it's a joke. Before, we used to have to deal with what do they call it? Constituency projects. Now, we're not even dealing with constituency projects. The president is allowing a situation where actual cash is given to constituencies to hand out to people as conditional cash transfers. We all know where that money is going to. We all know what that money is going for. So we're seeing a situation where we're seeing corruption like never seen or supervised in the history of our country. But people think, oh, because you're a PDP member, that's why you are saying these things. At the end of the day, it's like rain. The rain will beat all of us. It is beating all of us. We can think and we can continue to believe that this is a group of people. Oh, sorry. Go on, Ebuka.
I mean, it's
as you can see, my blood is hot.
Yes, it's a holiday weekend. I'm sure people are trying to relax and enjoy what they can of the Salah, and we don't want to depress them too much. But what you're saying is a lot of what you're saying. I think a lot of people can relate to, and I guess it should get everyone reflecting while we are enjoying the holiday to know that okay, we still own this country, and maybe it's time for us to do a lot more than we are currently doing. Unfortunately, we have to close it out here. Maybe we'll call you back soon again so that we can have a more robust conversation. Thanks a lot, Ilemona Onaja, for joining us. As always, I wish Nigeria all the best going forward. We're going to take a break now. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Thank you.
Don't just stand there teasing me. No.